Hello, I think we're live. Welcome to the channel. My name is Brian, if you happen to be new to my channel. And what we're going to be doing today is diving into the New World Aeternum patch notes. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts along the way. We're going to be hanging out. And if you want to come hang out with me, you can always jump into the Discord. The community is free to get access here. Top link in the description of all the videos, streams, and more. If you want to come and take part, you can always just listen in if you don't feel comfortable broadcasting your voice out into the world. Now, being that this is a patch notes video, we're going to jump in and out of the conversation on Discord. So hopefully that is perfectly fine with everybody. Also, crazy 5 pre-likes on this live stream. So thank you guys so much for being out there and engaging with the content that I put out into the world. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to break down, and we are right on the doorsteps of New World Aeternum. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting week. And this kicks off with not just the console launch, but the season of opportunity. It's been a long time since we had a season update. It's been a long time since we had content. Man, talk about freaking amazing. And over on Twitch, Codebreaker says, "What's up, brother? I'm enjoying Vessel of Hatred." Dude, I'm so glad you're enjoying Diablo 4, dude. That's so cool. I feel like I have let you down so many times with my like picking up Diablo and then going back to No Rest for the Wicked like all the time with my free time. And K Hello, what's up, dude, says he's so excited. If you guys are watching this as a VOD, do me a favor, sound off in the comments with VOD Squad. It's a great way of telling YouTube that these are great archive streams for people to enjoy, whether they want to enjoy them as just kind of a relaxing bit of content or something that's more informative and so much more. So thank you everybody for joining in. Before we get into the patch notes, I'm gonna welcome in our Discordians here. What's up, Yamron? How you doing today, sir?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing really good. I took the kids today to the pumpkin patch, and we picked out a monster pumpkin. A monster pumpkin, dude. Like it's like as big as me. It feels like carrying that thing into the house. So we're gonna make some plans to carve that thing up here in the near future.
I'm recovering from the weekend.
Yes. Did you have a good busy weekend?
Yeah, we do this every year. My siblings and one of my cousins and I go to a winery slash like pumpkin patch farm place.
Very cool.
We used to like pick out pumpkins there.
Yeah. And now you get sloshed.
And now, this time my sister and my cousin drank, but they didn't drink a lot, comparatively speaking. Like, yeah, to what they used to put down as alcoholics. I live in a family of drinkers, so how much they drank.
It comes with, I believe, the faith, right? Like,
I mean, no, this is just genetic, I think.
Okay.
Just a long line of alcoholism runs in my blood.
Yeah, my grandfather was an alcoholic, so it's like I've always had to be careful. I always have to, like, I told myself if I ever am like I need a drink, that's the exact opportunity not to take that drink.
For me, like if I have a drink once a year, that's my standard usually. Like one of the years during COVID, I had like 4 or 5, and it was unusual for me. That's a lot for me to have 4 or 5 drinks in a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's when I was like, all right, I'm kind of stressed. Like that's when I knew something was up. But no, I've just been, so yeah, it was a busy Saturday.
Yeah.
And just very tired.
Dude, I get it, man. So. I get it. Now, K Hella in the chat says live tribe or VOD squad stand up. I like that idea. I like the concept of live tribe. That's a fun way to kind of call it out. Excuse me, guys, just one second. I got kids at the door.
It's gotta be daddy for now. Had vacation time piling up and available relief. Okay. So I took the day off. At my advanced age, I can't sleep past 4 or so. Anyway, gonna be a good day. All right, that's cool, Patrick. I dig it. What's your advanced age? Are you one of the older people of the Ginger Prime community?
We have actually quite a decent range. Like we do have some folks that are retired.
No, the only that's not in your 50s. That's not an advanced age. And like we had a couple who were like in their 70s, I think.
Yeah, let me pull up the stats. I mean, let's look at some what Google says the data is like, because
50s. That's not an advanced age. That's like upper middle age. That's like upper middle aged these days.
Let's see here. Let's just we want to take a look at it. The we got 97.6%, boys.
Shout out to the 2.4%.
It's up to the 2.4% ladies out there. We're really glad you're here. I saw a lady comment on one of the videos saying that she's not a dude, but cool. She appreciates all the kind of the like dude talk. Be like, guys, knock it out, get better. Yeah. Let's go. We got this. We can do this. Patrick, in your 50s.
What is it like on your main channel?
Oh, let's pull it up. Let's see here. We're just kind of letting people jump in before we get into the patch notes. Be sure if you're watching this as a VOD to use the chapter markers whenever they get generated. That's going to be a great way to find like the specific section that you're looking for. But the spread, we got no minors, which is great. I love seeing that 0%. If that ever goes up, we got to talk to some parents in here. Like, what are you guys doing on this platform? Social media, do not put your kids on it. We got kick it off at 18 to 24 at 6.7%. Our biggest population is ranging from 25 to 44. Patrick, in this case, is rocking in the 12% club. And then from then on, 3% and 65 plus 1.2%. So shout out to the retirees out there. Hopefully you guys are doing well.
Shout out to the 1.2.
1.2. Shout out. All right, let's put
20s, playing games with younger, feeling like a dinosaur. Yeah, dude.
I defined age.
34. There was a job I was working at last year or 2 years ago, and I was like the third oldest person in the entire store, and I was 32. And I was like, I feel so old.
I always defined old as 1,000. That way, I'll never be old.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Old? It's like when people define old as 30 and then all of a sudden 30 gets here on you pretty quick.
My dad being old.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. But, all right, so you asked about the prime numbers, Ginger Prime. Rocking. We're coming up like we're slowly making progress, moving that to 82,000. We got 3.8% female over on the Prime, so a little bit. We got it up to 5 at one point, which is really cool to see.
I remember 4.4. I don't remember 5.
We did hit 5, and then it's like, you know,
maybe it was the men's stuff that you were. Maybe it was the message of hope that was putting them away. I don't know.
Who knows? So everybody who like says, hey, you know, I'm not a guy, but I really like the messages of hope, are all positive. I haven't met somebody who was like, men suck, you suck, I've
seen some of the comments, because I'll read your comments of a lot of videos, and I'll see some comments and be like, WTF, like your message of hope, like even though you pre-warn people are just like, the hell is this stuff?
No, there's plenty of people who want to be professionally offended. Like, you have to understand that we have created an incentive structure that rewards that kind of mindset. And it's so tribal. And so,
I think men these days need some uplifting. Honestly, like,
oh, dude, 100%.
Like, not the manosphere. Like, screw the manosphere.
Well,
right? That's a bunch of fake stuff.
The trap of the manosphere is that it is representing a portion of the truth, just not the whole truth. And then it takes that to...
It's like a spin.
Yeah, right? It is. It spins it to try and essentially like, you got to dominate women. You got to get your bag. You got to get a vasectomy. You got to do these things. It's like, come on, bros. Like, how about let's be decent human freaking beings, lifting each other up like a brotherhood and making this world a better place, because we're going to be the ones that die. You know, it's like, we're the ones that we got to be strong.
Maybe that's
Riddick with the Prime sub and then following the follows. So thank you, Riddick. Thanks so much for being here, dude. That's going to take our member goal to 9 out of 25. Thank you so much.
Maybe that's what it should be called, the Ginger Brotherhood.
The Ginger Brotherhood.
Like if someone subscribes or something, you're just like, welcome to the Brotherhood, man.
Yeah.
Just saying. I don't know. Just because I do not like the word community, but
it has some connotations. Like I don't like the word audience, right? So if we look at this tab says audience.
Audience makes sense if you're like making like fictional content. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like if you're making like a show, movie, or like a book, like yeah, that makes sense to call it an audience. But like you're no offense, but
you're good.
Like video game videos, not like
you know. I'm just talking about games.
You're mostly doing not even that. You're just mostly doing commentary, not like you're not like doing like an audiobook story.
Creating characters and stories.
Yeah,
So like
100%. To me, audience is just not proper. But that's just me.
And we got another Prime sub. Thank you guys for spending your Bezos bucks on me. It really does make a huge difference. You don't have to do it though. If you do have Amazon Prime, be sure to be dropping those Bezos bucks on somebody over on Twitch, especially the full timers. If I was going to recommend Jay Oddity, for example, that guy's got kids, and I'm just like, dude, tip of the hat.
Doesn't he have 4?
I don't remember the count, but I have more than he does.
Yeah, honestly, you have more than a lot of people.
Dude, I'm blessed. I am blessed.
So my mom, when she was
thanks, Rita.
When she was getting married, she wanted 6 children, and she wound up with 3, 2 miscarriages.
Yeah, so she had 5.
And she's just like, God was smarter than I was.
That's usually how it works out. That's usually how it works out.
Yeah. So
I saw a comment earlier from somebody in chat talking about like what server we're going to be on. Maramba. Like I'm not transferring. One of the things that as a content creator, and it's been so nice to get so much positive feedback, because like it felt like there's like years of people just like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I was like, no man, like this is what's going to happen, and everything I've said has come to pass. But it's so funny because well, and it's like one of the nicest like comment that I got today that I saw. Like I unfortunately don't see all the comments, but the Tania says that they're 187 years old. Tip of the hat, way to survive out there, you freaking elf, you elf. But no, it was that they were really glad to see that Amazon wanted to work with me on the controller guide for Aeternum. Right. Because it's like everybody, like there's just there's plenty of hate, there was so much hate that you could farm for views around this game, and it's like, all right, like guys, this is only the start. Let me see.
I haven't really.
I forgot. I didn't track the stats on the public version.
Not like they haven't been showing up on my.
That's the story of my life, man. Occasionally I will hit a trend, and then it's like my videos will pop off and people are like, this guy's great, and then everybody gets busy, we go about our lives, we do our things, and then eventually, like, no matter what, when somebody like doesn't like something that I say, or they don't like the color of my skin, or they don't like that I'm Catholic, like they'll come in and be like, I can't believe this guy, look at this loser, he's only got 500 views on his podcast. And I'm like, dude, you mean I got 500 views on a podcast? 500
views, that's awesome.
Dude, like I'm living the dream here, boys. This is so fun. Like I don't know, man. I don't like, you look at all the hate and the drama that just exists in that upper echelon, that 1% of the 1%, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem like fun. I like sitting back and being able to let people come into the voice chat and having fun and interesting conversations. That's great. And hopefully, so it's like, guys, after we 100,000 subs, stop subscribing to me. Like, let's lock it down. No more. That's our goal forever and for always. Paris, what's up? Says, hello, brother. Hope you're doing great. Hope you guys are doing great as well. HDP says, hey man, I always send people your way for controller guides. Dude, I don't use controller, but I find them useful still. Dude, that's also amazingly high praise. Thank you so much. That even if you're not a controller player, there's some value that you can get out of those guides. But you asked a question on the video that it wasn't on the main channel. Let's just pull it up. Check it out. So 2,000 views so far. Now this being a guide is going to, it just kind of keeps going. It just, it will be evergreen.
It's evergreen.
Yeah. Unless they come up and be like, we've, you know, completely re-overhauled it. And I might follow this up with some like targeted, like, hey, Brian, I'm going to play a tank on controller. Can you help me set it up? And, you know, things like that. We might see that. But 9 subscribers, $10 on it so far. 251 hours watched. So thank you guys so much for the support on that video.
Cool, man.
It's awesome. Yeah. The I don't know what it was. I know it was doing really well on the main channel, that's the Amazon channel, because they got to have it like for 24 hours exclusive, and I was like, that's fine by me. Like, you mean I can publish this on my own channel too? Cool. And then it was fun sending them my headshots from all my comedy shows and stuff.
Timothy's coming in from Tampa.
Ooh, how y'all doing out there, man?
Oh yeah, I have cousins in Tampa, and they evacuated to North Carolina, I think. My niece is out in college in Florida, and they evacuated, and so she was back home in Arkansas with my sister, and so we're glad that they're. And then my uncle, my uncle Mike, he was out in, he lives out in Florida, and he was back in the Dallas area, and we were all hanging out, you know, getting to see him. I haven't seen him in a couple years, and it was great. And he's like, yeah, my plane leaves on Tuesday and the hurricane's hitting on Wednesday, but he was in Miami and he's okay. I was just like, cool. I was like, dude, I'd change my flight. Hurricanes seem scary to me. I don't know about y'all. As someone who has lived through a few, one extremely devastating to the area, they're not terrible. They seem scary.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm more afraid of tornadoes. Honestly, I couldn't live in Texas.
See, and Tornado Alley is shifting, guys. Like, if y'all haven't seen, it is. It used to be, further east, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like, and that in and of itself has been pretty devastating for, like, you know, Louisiana, you know, Georgia and Tennessee and all that stuff. So it's just crazy. Katrina, dude, there were so many people that left New Orleans for permanently for the Houston and the Dallas and area and all that. Like, that was wild. I was working on a hazmat team at a hospital in Dallas, and it was we were training. It's like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll do this. What's up, Scenic? New World went mostly positive on Steam. Whoa, Jay Stubbles, man. Oh my gosh. And the thing is that no matter what, there will be a dip in the population no matter what. I really do hope Aeternum gets its own Steam DB entry. So just from a pure numbers perspective, we can start to look at, like, what is the core community of people who really are interested in this game?
I think it has its own entry, steamdb.info. I thought New World.
2 tornadoes hit the Florida. That's what I heard was the most devastating.
Oof.
Yeah, but being in Texas, like, I don't know. I just am used to tornadoes. I'm like, all right, well, we're going to go into the bathroom in the middle of the house, and I'll bring a mattress, and if things go south, I'm going to jump on the kids. It's like, that's the plan. Please tell me it has a better storyline. Honestly, I do think, Rita, that they have really leveled it up. I thought the story of Eternum was interesting, but I think what they're doing with the narrative approach and the cutscenes are going to help bring that story front and center for a lot of gamers. You know, and that's where I'm on. Yeah, like I'm going to be playing the story mainly though on my Xbox.
New World only has charts. Yeah, New World only has oh wow,
dude, dubs 100%, man. Like,
a little bit.
I think there was like a 3-month period where I would just kind of log in and fish. It's just like, I'm just kind of hanging out, you know, chilling with the kids while they were like watching their Saturday morning cartoons.
New World's player base has doubled since the announcement as it's gotten closer.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's the thing is that I would say that new world insert whatever MMO.
It has dipped not too significantly between peaks. But yeah, it went from a peak of 5,000 to a peak of about 7.5. Actually 8.
8. I think I saw it hit 8. It's gonna be neat. It's gonna be fun to see. It's gonna be a fun one to watch because the fact that we'll have console players on there, so it's going to be just gonna end up being a heat map rather than like, oh my gosh, all the players have quit. It's like, no, they haven't. It's like, you know, as long as you can get into content, the matchmaking would just kind of do its job and get people doing the content. Then they just need to keep making content.
Yeah. But no, I misspoke. The New World Aeternum beta has a separate page, not New World and New World Aeternum.
Okay.
So New World Aeternum is going to be, I think, under New World. I think.
I honestly think that could perhaps help them out a lot. I'm sure there'll be some negative of like they had to go and make another Steam database just so that people wouldn't see that they weren't ever going to get close to that 900,000. You mean there's not a global pandemic that puts everybody into their homes hungry for any kind of social contact, and then you're the most beautiful MMO to come out in the last 10 years?
It was the first real new IP.
Yeah.
MMO in a long
well,
time.
and again, like when I was like, the fact that it did what it did, despite no nostalgia, I was like, let's go.
The one thing I hate about MMO coverage is that they keep saying, oh, the genre is stale. I'm just like, it's not stale, it's stable, right? There's nothing. All the MMOs we have, yes, they're old, but it's not like it's any MMO is doing poorly right now, right? They're all doing fairly well, and yeah, I'm just like, I just hate that wording. It's not stale, it's stable.
I think for some that dream of,
I mean, listen, there are people who will never get the MMO of their dreams, right? Because that they're chasing a high. They're chasing either a feeling they remember or a feeling that they manufactured, and they're going after them. As someone who has played many MMOs, especially during the MMO boom, right, of like the 2000s, the late 2000s to early 2010s, right? Like that boom. Like there have been a handful of MMOs that I've gone back to, right? And I'm just like, to me the genre is fine. It's stable. Like I said, it's not going anywhere. So the people I find who say it's stale, there's not an MMO that they've found that they like for long-term usage.
Now, we got a couple comments here. For preload, Jack is asking that they're waiting for preload, still not on Steam. I don't think the preload kicks off on Steam until the official server shut down here in 2 hours, and then they go into their maintenance and then bring them back up tomorrow morning. We'll be live. I'll be live tomorrow. I don't know necessarily what hour I'll be starting, but I'll be starting playing a good chunk for tomorrow. So if there are drops, you can hang out with me. If not, no worries. There's going to be other content creators who are live. I'm not going to be doing the fresh start server stuff. I'm just going to be playing on my character and seeing if I can't find people who want to do content, you know, and that'll be fun. And then most likely I will be back on Wednesday. So we'll be doing some fun stuff all together on that. So yeah, preload should kick off. Guru says they bought it on the PS5. They didn't need to, but shrug. Tip of the hat, man. Way to go. Let's see here. Yeah, Dub says looking forward to the larger player base and crop platforms, so queue times and co-op content doesn't take that long. That's going to be also a huge benefit to server populations. One of the biggest problems the game had before it had cross-server, content was you could have a small server and you're just dooming that server to die. Now you could have a small server. You could have like, hey, my server's got 500 people on it. Well, that could actually be a lot more fun because maybe that means you get more opportunities to control territory and do different things, and you're not punished because you don't have enough people to go do OPR or the 3v3 arenas or the expeditions or the raid or, you know, like X, Y, and Z, right? Tater says EverQuest 1 still has a base. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like I said, the MMO genre is not stale, it's stable.
CJ asks, did I ever play World of Warcraft? Barely.
Briefly, you played it at the worst time. You played it in Shadowlands, which is panned as like the worst expansion.
Yeah, I didn't vibe with it.
So, no one did. Like my friend and I like entered during Shadowlands. He continued playing. I got bored as hell, and I stopped playing. And I started playing like a couple weeks ago.
Woody asks, why didn't I not get on the creator list? I got a sponsorship video, but I'm not a streamer, Woody. Like, the fact is that we're doing this tonight is kind of like a special event kind of thing. I think Xbox has an event coming up this week on the 17th, but I think I have a meeting.
Did you take off this week or no?
I took off half day tomorrow and then full day on Wednesday. And depending on how I feel, like I might use that full day. I might do a half day and I might go to work. I don't know. Like I'm trying to still sock away enough PTO so I can make sure I spend a lot of time with the kids over Christmas. You know, that's always the goal.
That's fair enough.
You know, it's like, sorry, I got to go to work, kids. Can't hang out. Have Merry Christmas. You know, it's like dad had to go play a video game. Like, nah. But we'll see. Like, I ended up working all last weekend, so I socked away some extra overtime hours that I can kind of, you know, the job I have is really great. They're super flexible. I really enjoy it. But yeah, so I wouldn't, no, you're good, dude. Like, I wouldn't classify myself as a streamer. We were talking to Jay Oddity about this on his stream, and he's like, "You're more of a YouTuber," and I go, "That's pretty apt." I'm a YouTuber who I occasionally will go live, but
yeah,
it's just like, and again, nothing I'm about to say is negative because I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world, but when you have the size family that I have, even with one kid. With all due respect, they are my priority. Taking care of my wife and the kids are the thing. And once that thing is done, then down the priority list we go. And when all the things that are done, then I can consider streaming. And generally by the time all things are done, I'm just going to go to bed because I'm tired. Because it's like I've busted my ass all day and I just want to sit back, relax just a little bit and try to get some sleep, because I don't know if you guys like have followed my journey for a long time. Some of you, your names, like I see, recognize we've been hanging out, playing video games, talking video games for a long time. Some of you guys are brand new, but it was, I think, pre me retiring from Final Fantasy 14 that it was Lama Todd. He's my age and he had a stroke, and I was like, that scared me. That terrified me. And I was like, and he was pushing late nights, lots of caffeine. Like, I was like, okay, I need to legit play defense here, you know, and take care of my health. And so that's what I've been doing, you know. So I cannot wait to cross over that down 100 pounds marker. We are 20 pounds away from having officially lost 100 pounds. And I'm hoping I can get it this year, but it slowed down as I lost the first, like, it felt like 50 pretty quickly, and then it slowed down, but we're still plugging away. Woody says, I follow your controller guides on Vanilla New World. Good videos for sure. Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, Tater just finished their 100-pound journey a couple years ago. That next plateau is doable. It is, like, it's not a matter of if, it's literally just a function of when. And you know, it's been nice because Julie and I got to go out on a date, and it's been so long. Like, I had like my blood work all done and everything's looking good. I'm no longer pre-diabetic, and you know, like, all the numbers, everything's trending in the right direction. And I was like, okay, this is great. So we went out for sushi on Michaelmas, which is like the feast of the guardian angels, Saint Michael in this case, and then the others are also included. And so we went out for sushi, and I was like, all right. So I had a little bit of rice, which is something that I limit, and it was nice. It was a real treat. And then I got some fresh strawberries and a banana, and I had that. And that was the first bit of fruit that I've had, like, in, I don't know.
I thought you were allergic to strawberries.
No.
Or is your son allergic to strawberries?
So far, we haven't discovered any kind of food allergies with the kids.
Okay.
My brother, though, his kids are like all allergic to nuts. And so it's like, oh man, gosh, as I eat a nut.
That would suck.
Yeah. Thank you, Maddo.
Yeah,
Scenic lost 130 like 2.5 years ago, kept it off, and I'm going to lose the other 130. Way to freaking go, Scenic.
Nice, dude.
Proud of you, buddy. Dude, hell yeah. So the question is am I doing a high protein, low carb diet? Technically, but not intentionally. And what that means is that there are certain foods that I cannot self-regulate. And I know what those foods are. Grapes are one of those foods. Like, it's not a give me a handful of grapes. It's like, can I eat the fucking vineyard? Excuse my French. Like, oh my gosh, dude, I will eat grapes until I'm sick. Cereal is another one. And so, yeah, like, dude, cereal serving size recommendation should be 1 box of family size box. That is, what is the serving size on this cereal? It is literally the box, you know?
Like, what is the serving size of this cereal? Yes.
My Journey Gaming also on a health journey. 375 down to 250. Yes, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I wanna get below 210, and that will put me at like 110, 120 pounds lost. And I want to get below 210 as my first evaluation, like in terms of like, is this where I need to be, or do I still need to lose a little bit more? And I'm gonna tell you hands down, unless for some reason, like, you know, like I'm just fit. My plan is I want to get below 200 because I want to be as far away from 300.
Would that be healthy for you? Because like you're a tall dude, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. 6 foot. However,
oh, you're not as tall as I thought you were.
No, exactly. It's like I was apparently like I was supposed to be 6'2", but I think I had something issue with my knees. So I got like, I don't know what they're called, knock knees or something, but like where you have the nubs right below your knees, and man, they hurt. Oh yeah, I was like they was projected to be 6'2", and I didn't make it. I was like, darn it, I was really hoping for that. My grandfather was 6'5", and then my wife is 5'2", and so all the kids like out like Annie and Gabriel, they're on the taller end, and then everybody else is going to be shorty. I think they're projecting Mikey. He's going to be maybe 5'7". So.
Oh man, after my own heart.
The no, but it's wild because I don't know if you guys know the Blevins, right? So like obviously Tyler Ninja is the most famous one, but you have John, and you have his brother Invictus Chris, and
like
they're like giants. And so I gotta go stay at John's house for a while. He did this like March Madness kind of, in a way it was almost kind of like a retreat, which is great because he's a devout Catholic as well, and so we got to go all hang out. And I get off the plane in Chicago, and I was like, this is the land of giants. Like we were just coming out of lockdown, and I've been just at home with all of the kids, and so I'm the tallest person in their entire universe for such a long period of time. Right. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm a giant. Step off that plane, and I was quickly brought back to reality. I was like, we should never go to war with the people of Chicago. These people are monsters.
Dude, I had a coworker who was 10 years younger than I was, but he was like a foot taller than I am.
Yeah.
And I felt like a freaking child. I said to him, I was like, are you my daddy? It's like,
yeah. BC says calorie deficit is the answer. Burn calories so you intake. I'm 66, 178 currently, 22% body fat. The only thing I would push back on that, because you are scientifically sound when it comes to that, there are within certain people. Whoa, what was that? We got 100 biddies. Thank you, whoa. Appreciate that. And we got a couple new followers. Thank you guys so much for those follows. The one thing I'd push back on is that I do really good on restriction. That isn't something that's for everybody. And so I know that there are certain foods that I cannot self-regulate. And so I just don't eat those foods. And I'm then in a calorie deficit. If I let myself have those foods, it literally is this weird daisy chaining effect. And so I have like a real talent to be able to basically say no. It's easier for me to say no than it is to stop, you know, in that regards. So that's the only thing I kind of push back on, because there are certain like foods, like I said, like cereal is not one that I need to eat, because I don't know why my brain's just, and maybe, you know, something's there, but it's like whenever I get a hold of that, and it's not like, oh, he's eating the sweet cereal. I'm like, oh, give me some freaking mini wheats, yo. Like, give me some Wheaties. Give me some, like, you know, Raisin Bran. Give me the plain Rice Krispies. And it's like, you know, I'm not at it. Like, I might slice up a banana and put it in there, you know? Woe says, I got a question about New World. Can you have a hammer and a musket equipped at the same time? Yes or no? You can. Not obviously at the same time, but you can have that where you can swap between the two. But it'd be kick-ass if you had a hammer and a gun.
That was my starter build, was Warhammer Musket.
Yeah.
So, not ideal, because they don't scale off the same stats.
Well, there might be like an artifact that lets you do things like that.
Honestly, Warhammer is actually really good. Not gonna lie. Like, if Greatsword weren't as fun, I don't know, I might still do Warhammer. We'll see.
I don't know where you fall in this, Beastie, and I know the stream is titled Patch Notes, and we're 37 minutes into it and haven't gotten to the patch notes. We will, I promise you. I'm just enjoying kind of hanging out with you guys, kind of talking. I do think that there's a problem, especially in the United States, with our food, and I think the FDA has been captured by the food companies, and I think it's very clear, because there's a major contrast to that of like different other countries that don't seem to have the same struggles, but yes, still have sugar and, you know, sodas and things like that. I don't think we want to introduce like the government coming in telling us what we can or can't eat, but I do think that there is some engineering going on that, like,
certain food additives that shouldn't be a thing.
Well, it's like, because we are, you know, prone to fat and sugar as like our body, like, especially like as we've evolved, like food could be scarce. So if you get yourself something that's going to put some fat on your bones, like that's, you want to consume it. And I think we've seen,
but I think there are some food additives that like especially a lot of dyes, right? Like a lot of dyes are not good for you, generally speaking.
It's going to be interesting to see if RFK will do that, because I think what I've seen in my lifetime, and this is just where it's like, I don't want to come off as a complete pessimist here, because I definitely whoever wins, I want to root for, because we want our leaders to be good leaders, right? So whoever wins, I'm going to be rooting for him and praying for him. But I have seen time and time, decade after decade, of just political BS that never, like, it's like they're telling me the thing as an adult that I heard them tell my parents as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, you know, show me, stop telling me. Like, we, especially now in social media and things like that, where people get so much clout for the words that they write, but then their actions, they're complete just trash people.
Well, it's like what right? You know, I saw this quote from Elon Musk recently.
Food pyramid was a freaking scam, dude. Anyway, go ahead, Yammer.
So something he said at like a meeting at like some big like corporate thing was like, he keeps seeing this obsession with people to look good but be doing evil.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, yeah, that's literally like,
dude, 100%.
That's literally half of social media.
Well, and social media is also a great stealer of joy. And it's like, this is something I have to be very careful about, because I know there are a lot of people who watch and they're like, oh, I want to be a content creator. And they're like, oh man, you know, and I was like, you know, don't count other people's blessings, count your own. If you count your other people's blessings, you get the algorithm all off tilter, and you're gonna find it's off. I do want to say one thing, Cameron, is that Newspin says they're in Germany and they see the American food push. It's just insane. Yeah,
it's intense.
Yeah, and being on this journey over this last year and some odd, you know, months, especially where I really hit it hard when it comes to food. Technically, I guess 2 years, but until I got on the testosterone, that didn't fix the hormonal imbalance that was basically keeping my body in a constant state or fight or flight. Like that was the big thing. Oh, it's going great. Okay. People might not like my political takes because I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I just don't. I'm going. This is, you know, this is what I believe. This is what I'm working towards.
I mean, people are gonna hate people no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. When if you know, and again, this is where I mean, I don't have a lot of respect for certain people within the Final Fantasy 14 community, because their true colors are that of just like I wouldn't want them around my kids. I'm just gonna say that.
I don't have respect for most of the FF14 community.
There are definitely some shining, you know, some shining lights that I do like and do appreciate. But when I say that is that the just that aspect of, if you cannot, like, if we cannot disagree and agree on different things, like if it's like so much so that it's like, oh, you think, you know, this one thing that isn't actually that big of a crazy thought, like it's just like you don't 100% align with my worldview. We're not talking about tribes there. We're talking about cults now, you know, and it's like that in and of itself. The internet's great for that. Like, and when we look at it over the course of the last couple of decades, every generation, there's a cult, like, and it comes out and they do crazy stuff and it doesn't go over well. So I'm so TRT, I'm actually on what's called Clomid, and this is a fertility drug, and I have a bit about it in my stand-up where I was like, so they gave me this drug that gives me super cum, and I'm like, whoa, doc, you're telling me after 6 kids my next kid's gonna be Superman? Sign me up. Yeah. And I have even more offensive things that can just kind of spin off of that. But no, it's like it's a fertility drug that helps me naturally produce testosterone. So because the testosterone and the actually cortisol, which causes the stress reaction, is produced in the same gland, and so this has kind of helped reset that.
Save those jokes for Junior Prime After Dark.
It is After Dark.
Well, go for it then.
That in and of itself, I would consider very tame. Oh no.
It is very tame.
It's like that. It like we get into it on stage, but yeah, like, yeah.
Tell it to me offline.
You got it. Well, hopefully I'll get like every show that I've been invited on. It's like has been a massive conflict this year, and it's like, okay, I'm just doing some open mics, having some good time. Yeah, the patch should be able to be downloaded as soon as the servers go offline, which is roughly in about an hour and a half. So to say.
Okay. Where is this thing?
The eclomethane. I don't know. I'm seeing my. I'm getting my blood work for my doctor this week, and then I meet with him next week, and we reevaluate, because he believes that because I'm on this medicine as opposed to a shot, they'll be able to slowly stagger me off, and eventually I won't need it. That'd be great, because the drugs aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm way past Watershed in the UK. Well, the goal is like one of the stories behind why I was like, I'm gonna write the most offensive stuff I can think of that's funny, you know, and is because I'm always like naturally worried about offending people. But I was like, well, I'm gonna go on stage. This is funny. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. I get big laughs, lots of fun, and I was like, yeah, it's You know, that in and of itself is like, we had a little bit of drama with Andy Pants Gaming. I don't know if you've been following all that. I've been debating on how I want to respond.
Oh, Andy Pant, dude,
yeah.
He's a freaking like nut. Like I
dude,
get it.
I said it. I said no. I don't think he is. So to catch everybody up, I
haven't seen the response, but like I saw him. Apparently, he like debated Actman on DEI.
No, Actman destroyed him on that.
I was gonna say he lost the debate, and then what he did was he turned off comments and likes and dislikes, and it's just like, dude, you're like no better than the other side. Like,
and then he issued copyright strikes.
Yeah, which is just like the lowest. Like,
so
that's not cool.
It's like there was a video that popped up on my feed that like had it was him doing kind of his hit piece on Actman on Skill Up and whatnot, and for whatever reason, like that's like they was basically trying to call them all woke, and I'm like, all right, it's an overused term. I like what about it, right? Skill Up is.
Skill Up is.
Oh, he totally is.
For a while when he was like,
yeah.
He said something I'm not gonna get into, but it was just like, yeah, I can't get.
He blocked Skill Up blocked me on Twitter. And I was like,
did he really?
I was like, all right, bro, like. Okay, dude, I'm glad you're successful, but so that's where it's like, that's how Andy Pants was introduced to me, is because he had that video and it's like, okay, I'll check it out. And then it's like, hey, he's doing this collab with Actman. Okay, I listened to the debate, and Actman wiped the floor with him. And it's see like XX saying Actman is woke. I think we would need to define like what that is, because the thing with me when watching Actman was and is that the guy I feel is right on the fence. He's like, I don't like these things about gaming, but I don't think it's connected to kind of what the gamer gators have kind of pushed back on, right? So I don't know, maybe he is, Lauren says that he is in this regards. I don't watch all of his content, but generally speaking, like I've seen him say things like, yeah, like we don't want this inauthentic representation in these games, which is like, that's where I align. And then it's like, okay, then there's sometimes that I think he misses the forest from the trees. And I don't have like a specific example right now to like highlight, but maybe that's something I want to do some research on to kind of really like make this point a little bit more clear. But that all being said is that watching, because Actman made a really good point. It's like, if you label everything with that word, which that word is divisive by nature, it has a history that immediately makes people make an assessment on what that is. Now, everybody tends to kind of know what it means, like whenever it's heard like willy-nilly, but then you have somebody like Andy Pants Gaming stepping up and just like, everything is, and this, and this is this, and why won't you call it this? It's like, okay, I think there's a much better way to handle this. And so where I got involved in this story, weirdly enough, because Andy Pants blocked me, and I'm like, great. Like I returned, like I only block if I am blocked first. So I've blocked Skill Up, I've blocked Andy Pants Gaming, and in my mind they're one of the same coin. And the reason ends up being is that Paris, who does the Xbox podcast and things like that, if you guys know of him, I can't for the life of me remember his last name. He's been on my podcast. Wonderful guy. I've always enjoyed him. We don't agree on everything, but nobody does, right? Paris said something, and then Andy Pants came in and said, that's just because you're a DEI hire. Obviously trying to be intentionally rude, right? Like intentionally going for the anger reaction. And all I did was like respond. I was like, my brother in Christ, because he proclaims to be Christian. But I was like, my brother in Christ, like really? this is what it could have been, an opportunity for a discussion, but you took it as a way to try and score cheap attention points. And then he called me a cuck, and I was like, all right.
Sure, okay.
So I was like, all right. And then he was like tweeting at me at Del Monte B, and then he's like, what's it like to only have 10 people on YouTube follow you? And I just kind of quote tweeted. I was like, should I tell him? Like, and so then everybody like responded to my quote tweet. They're like, yeah, go ahead and tell him. I was like, I definitely have more than 10, bro. So I don't know how to answer this question. And I think that's when he blocked me. My first and primary concern was that he was either mentally ill, that he was a child, because I didn't know what he looked like, and I didn't know his full story, but it turns out he's a 40-year-old some odd father, so he has a kid. And then I was like, is he having a mental breakdown right now?
Or is he having a midlife crisis?
It could be that. It could absolutely be a midlife crisis. But I said about Andy, I was like, I say this with the most Christian charity, because I think the word grifter is another word that's just overused. I see people throw it out for whatever, like, oh, somebody made a video and got views, grifter. And it's like, all right, like, I don't care, man. Like, I just don't have that time to be this invested in YouTube drama. But with that aspect, it's like, with the most Christian charity possible, Andy is the definition of what I would think of as a grifter. Just based off of the fact it's like, it just feels
behavior,
yeah, and it's like, and yes, he's going to get attention from it, and we all know that's the game to play, right? Like, if you like negative attention, it's still attention, and social media is all about attention. Yeah, Rick, we'll get to the patch notes. I promise. Just hanging out. It's not, I don't think, actually that big of a long post. So for those of you who are watching the VOD, just continue to use the chapter markers. Yeah, this is straightforward. Let's dive into it. I think that's a good opportunity. So you guys have heard that story, and that was fun to kind of share, because it's like, all right, man, like, what the hell? I was even like, before he blocked me, I was like, well, I might just extend an invite to the podcast and see if he wants to come on and talk about it, talk about the whole thing, because I think especially because I think it's important to call out bad actors that are on your side, right? Yeah. Is there more? Oh, full breakdown. Boom. Sweet. Thank you. It was a hidden link. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute Discord Yammering for a little bit, and that way we can do some reading, and I might jump back in, and we'll go from there. Oh, sorry. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
Take your time.
Okay. All right. Let's do this thing. Let's see here. See if we can't make a highlight so that people are like, well, that was an hour of waiting to get to the patch notes. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys for the 40 likes, by the way. All right, let's jump into the Season of Opportunity. This is the New World Aeternum release. Ooh, it starts off with a big subject here, guys. Target lock changes. This was and had to be perhaps one of the biggest thing that was going on. And what we'll do also, just as a form of just kind of keeping this as a conversation rather than me just reading to you, is that we'll hit these different sections, and then we'll take a pause, and I'll make sure if there's any questions that I get those answered for you guys. All right. Thanks again to everybody who took the time to not only participate in the open beta, but also leave extremely detailed constructive feedback. That deserves a highlight. All right, there we go. We have made the following changes to target lock. Note that these changes only affect PvP-PvE, still behaves the same as it did before. Okay. So these changes are only for PvP. That's good to know. All right, cool. Now, killing a PvP opponent in target lock will no longer automatically switch to another target. So this confirms target lock is still there. This has led to situations where an ability to progress would instantly target another player when the current target was killed. This maneuver wouldn't be possible with manual aiming on keyboard and mouse, so we removed it. Okay. A target lock now breaks more aggressively when losing line of sight on your target. Breaking the line of sight briefly will lose the lock, which allows easier evasion and better preserves stealthy gameplay in PvP. It's going to be interesting to see, because again, they haven't taken it away, but I thought, and that's the thing I even said on the live stream when we were talking about this, was I think they, if they do keep it, they can definitely make some adjustments to it so that it isn't essentially just a tab targeting game at that point. A character's turn speed is now slower when using targeting lock. That's actually really good to see. They've slowed the character's speed when using targeted lock. This results in slower tracking speed for targets, meaning that homing attacks will miss more often on a moving target. So If you want to defend, you gotta be crab walking back and forth. We go from there. Temporary blunderbuss now deals less damage in PvP. We agree that the player feedback that the guaranteed hit just doesn't feel right. To mitigate this, we temporarily reduce the blunderbuss's base damage in PvP to compensate for the guaranteed hit. We will continue to investigate long-term solutions to be implemented in the near future. Cross-world and arena improved matchmaking. Finding matches in 3v3 arenas will now be much easier thanks to cross-world matchmaking. We've also introduced skill-based matchmaking to both arenas and Outpost Rush. Look forward to higher quality matches against other players of similar skill. Finally, we'll add role selections to these modes. Okay. Similar to Expeditions, we will now split roles better between teams for a more balanced experience. That's really good to see. New PvP zone, the Cursed Mist. The foggy southwest reaches a Cutlass Keys, or a lawless place where the golden greed curse of Las Esperanzas treasure drives fortune hunters to murderous madness. Even the closest companions are liable for a lengthy betray of one another. Gather cursed doubloons and resources, and you'll have to escape before the other looters steal your spoils. Get a better idea of what to expect from the developer deep dive, which we covered here on the channel as well. The mouse and keyboard can use the target lock. Well, I think that at that point it's only fair, but it's gonna be interesting to see, especially how that plays out. Now, Newspring asks, am I taking part in the Trials of Aeternum? I am not. I don't consider myself a streamer, and even though you were hanging out with me for a live in this case, just note that there's just no way that I could even consider to try and take 3 weeks to just do this thing, to do the Trials of Eternum. So no, I did the partnership on the controller guide video, which was a great. It was an honor to be asked, especially because I was like, wait a minute, you're gonna send me money for the thing I was making already? Okay, I'll cash that check with no guilt at all in that regards. So is this aimbot for controller? Not 100%. It really is going to depend on how it feels. If you can shake that target lock, if that ends up like, I also thought they could they reduce the damage if you're in target lock mode as just kind of a way to offset it, but we'll see. Like, you won't be able to pull off a headshot, for example, because it's going to go with a body blow. So you are kind of losing some damage. But it's going to be interesting to see. I voted that they should just get rid of it in PvP, but here we are. All right. This is the thing I'm most interested in to check out, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get into a group of a 10-player raid, the Hive of Gorgons. One of the most exciting new features coming is the first ever 10-player raid, the Hive of Gorgons. After defeating Medusa in New Olympus, players will learn of the new threat. The Gorgons have risen, and they are raising an army of Herculine. To stop them, you're going to have to assemble a team of powerful players, enter the Hive, and navigate the gauntlet of challenging puzzles and epic boss battles. And then they've also done a deep dive on that. All right, new artifacts. Well, I see Woody says, but you won't miss. You can, basically, off of what they said, because you can. It sounds like you're going to track slower. So just because it's locked on doesn't necessarily mean you're moving exactly 1-to-1 with it. So essentially, to dodge, you got to move left and right. So I mean, it's very well possible that this is gonna be a big problem, and it could also be something that, based off of these changes, that people are going to end up going like, oh yeah, they're not killing me in target lock, but time will tell, right? All right, new artifacts. Turn your enemy and empower against them, improve your survivability, and more. These 8 new artifacts will feature in its own quest line for upgrades will redefine your playstyle. Here's a preview of what you can expect. The light headwear, it's going to get you desperate energy. If you hit an enemy while your mana is below 50%, you gain 25 increased damage for 4 seconds. So that's a conditional. I don't necessarily enjoy conditionals, especially because I don't feel like, at least how I've got my builds, that's going to take advantage of my mana being low, but maybe that's something that's more advantageous in like a mutation run. Survivor coat, heavy chest. Survive. If you get hit while below 50% health, you gain 50% stamina and lose all debuffs. That sounds like a kick-ass perk. and gain a portion surge. Instantly refreshes your next used healing potion. That sounds like a kick-ass perk. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I like that one a lot. I'm gonna highlight that one. It's like, welcome to the tier list. Ghostly Touch, medium gloves. Ghostly Embrace. When you hit an empowered enemy, dispel 2 of their empowers, and you gain 10% in power. Azoth Conductors, medium legwear. Magician's Boons. While in medium armor or weight, deal 15% more elemental damage. That's gonna give people some more options there. That's not that bad. Elemental Band Ring. Elemental Affinity. When you hit a target with an elemental attack, not attunement or damage over time, you gain 4% in power for 6 seconds. It's a 10-second cooldown per elemental damage type, max 1 stack per elemental damage. I guess that means you can, I'm gonna hit him with fire, and then I'm gonna swap over to ice, and I'm assuming that also means Void Gauntlet to a degree. We'll have to see. Trisha's Warhammer. Consume. Gain 25% lifesteal against knocked down enemies. That sounds really cool. Grace Greatsword. Offensive speed. When you hit and enter an offensive stance, gain 20% movement speed for 6 seconds. Keen speed on critical hit. Gain 20% haste for 7 seconds with a 7-second cooldown. I think that Greatsword is actually a part of the battle pass at level 80 on the free track. So that might be something to kind of strive for, because I do like the Greatsword. Power Stone Flail. Heavy Burden. While above 90% health, attacks inflict 20% weakness for 5 seconds with a 5-second cooldown per target. Okay, very cool, very cool. We're gonna get a new season reward track. Season Pass gives players a variety of new ways to earn cosmetics, transmog tokens, artifacts, and more. Highlights of the premium reward track include 1 set of seasonal armor, 5 pieces, 9 seasonal weapon skins, 3 mount attachments, and 2 seasonal emotes. The free track is available to all players that also contain unique cosmetic items, while the premium reward track offers the ability to earn rewards for 20,000 marks of fortune. So somebody was asking earlier, and I do apologize if I missed that question, is that the battle pass is, you have a free tier that everybody gets, but $20 to unlock the premium tier, and they have like an upgrade where you unlock a couple of levels as well for that. Now, is the season pass still pay to win? Ooh, I think any game that has player trade is gonna, I like it runs the easy risk of having it as pay to win. I think what I've seen on it, like I've never felt like I've had an advantage of the free or the premium tier. It just is some additional rewards, and the gear that I get in the game already is there. For a new player, it might be a way of getting in a lot of resources, but anything that you spend money on that gives you anything, like, it really is going to come down to your personal view of it. I would not say it's pay to win, but I would say, like, it definitely is dancing on that border, maybe putting a toe into the water and then, kind of coming back into it. Yeah, there's gold in it. There's like marks of fortune in it. So it really depends on, like, and if that's a deal breaker for you, no judgment, but I don't see, I would argue though that they have the best monetization model around, because there is no subscription. It is a buy to play, and you don't need to purchase anything else after that. And then you can, most likely we'll have an expansion next year. Anyway, yeah, that's such a hard question to answer. I'm not trying to sit on the fence on this one. I'm just not worried about it, because of how everything else is, right? Like, I've never felt like this game has been in my wallet, and that's what the feeling I go after. Like, is this game actively making me like, I'm not playing, therefore I'm falling behind? I'm not paying, so I'm falling behind. I've never felt that yet once in this game. So that's where it's like, I think it's a good discussion topic, but one that I don't think it has enough of a problem to have me go and say that it's pay to win. So anyway, additional notable updates, repeatable endgame so trials. The following content has been increased to level 70 and now includes updated rewards, the sandworm, the hatchery, and the winter Winter Rune Forge trial. They've added swimming, new cinematic storytellings, new repeatable expedition quests, new fishing quests, 4th maximum character slot, cross-platform play, new starting experience, performance optimizations. This is incredible. Like the performance of the beta, the build, like holy crap, was like, and you go and play the current one, which goes offline here in the next hour. Yeah, like it was 9-day. New standard worlds that make sense. Enhanced controller support, baby. This is the controller support feels so good. Player archetypes. This is a really good way to get players kind of playing around with the different weapons right out the game. The maximum gear score increased to 725. So that means that I just have 25 levels to gain and then I can take a year off. I don't know. That's where, when it's all said and done, what does the devs do to follow up this update? What does the next season look like? How is the content coming? And the DirectX 12 was so good. And so that was something that I turned on. Oh, is this set up as Throne of Liberty? It's like, or are you saying that this isn't Throne of Liberty as a part of like the pay to win conversation? It's like, no, this is definitely not TNL in this case. World experience, expeditions, the Lazarus instrumentality. Oh, they've added fix. Okay, this is, I was like, we already had this dungeon. What are they're just going to go through all of it. So they kind of give a highlight of what that means. Quality of life improvements. Water ripple effects now work normally when moving through the water, and beast mode rune active. They fixed an issue that caused players to have incorrect pose and sheathing and unsheathing weapons after sprinting. They fixed an issue that caused the Tondo upgrade, and again, not to trigger, when the damage over time runeless was equipped. They fixed an issue that caused two-handed weapons to not be wielded properly in certain situations, like the transmog menu. They fixed an issue that caused players to not see animations of applying weapon buffs and coatings. The healing numbers now appear when healing self. Hey, all right, good deal. They fixed an issue that allowed players to move and attacking after using unstuck while auto running. They fixed an issue that caused players to move at walking speed after shooting an arrow. They fixed an issue that allowed some weapon abilities to be used while carrying Purifying Flame. They fixed an issue that caused the Azov staff to appear sheathed as in the waist during specific circumstances. They fixed an issue that prevented the inventory menu from opening if opened at the end of certain animations. They fixed an issue that caused players to slide when backpedaling and casting while fishing. They fixed an issue that caused player momentum to continue while gathering. They fixed an issue that caused going prone to prevent drowning in water. They fixed an issue that caused a short side animation when weapon swapping and immediately running. They fixed a rare issue that caused players to get stuck when falling. And they fixed a very rare issue that caused soul trials to fail at the start. So that was kind of neat. They're like, hey, we're going to talk about the Lazarus instrumentality as an expedition. Here's our notable fixes that don't actually apply to that dungeon, but it's just general fixes overall. For camera changes, the self-correcting follow camera has received some tweaks to make its pitch changes smoother and better to conform to the terrain. They fixed an issue that caused the player character to always face the camera while rotating in the store. They fixed the camera glitch that caused when changing from locked on state to aim down sight state. They disabled free look camera during integration camera states. The camera free look and cycle weapon modifier cannot be bound to the same key anymore to avoid confusion when cycling weapons and changing camera view. Camera free look is now unbound in the default settings. They fixed the reduced vertical camera movement in this issue caused by jumping into an inclined object such as a rock or hill from a lower elevation. They defaulted the camera aim recharging option to the true across all platforms. The free look camera now remains functional while an inventory screen and is now not permanently toggled on when entering that inventory screen. Woo, yeah. XX clarifies, yes, they were referring to pay to win. Speaking of which, guys, pay to win. Thanks, guys, for the 48 likes on the stream. And welcome in to the 41 people over on Twitch. We had 3 likes on Facebook. What's going on tonight? Thank you, guys. And we had Whoa dropping 100 bits on the channel. I appreciate that. You guys are so generous. All right. Let's see here. I'm Fishing Dark Wolf says pay to win. Yeah, the PS2. Yeah. If I miss a question, guys, just make sure you tag it Ginger Prime, or something like that, just so hopefully I can keep track of that. And then when we bring back in the voice team here. Hopefully we can all keep up on if there's any other questions after we get through the notes. We are halfway through, which is kind of, I've done these things that like were hours because they were just like, here's the 1,000 bug fixes that have happened. AI updates. The stagger system. Hitting an AI enemy with a light or heavy attack as well as certain abilities can now cause an interrupting reaction to hit called stagger. The stagger caused by those attacks is limited by a cooldown that is triggered after a certain number of staggers, tuned per weapon and attack. For melee attacks, the cooldown is generally... Thank you for the follow, but I totally lost the plot because it's blocking the thing now. Generally, cooldown generally takes 2 to 3 staggers to trigger the resets after 2 seconds of the enemy being hit. For ranged attacks, cooldown triggers after a single stagger, but resets after 2 seconds, regardless of the additional ranged hits. The abilities described as causing a stagger will always cause a stagger, regardless of the state of the limiter cooldown. AI enemies with silver and gold nameplates will be less susceptible to staggers. Really glad to see the stagger system brought in. I feel something like it's important to me, and especially in these kind of games, but we'll see. We'll see how it feels. And then Tania says they hope the launch is smooth. 12 a.m. You got your drinks and munchies ready. I hope the launch is smooth. I'm gonna do some work in the morning, and then we'll try to go live maybe around 9 Central or something like that and play. We'll see. Notable fixes: for targeting dummies don't show their health bar anymore. Fixed an issue where health shown on nameplates wasn't constantly updating properly. They fixed an issue where ranged AI can sometimes narrowly miss the player when shooting. Threat generation. Increased threat generation via blocking by 100%. That's cool. Increased threat generation from sword light and heavy attacks. Increased threat generation from shield tree passive final blow from 15 to 40%. They increased the taunt threat boost percentage from 15 to 35%. And they reduced threat generation from life staff and void gauntlets. It sounds like they want tanks to tank and not have to worry about healers. Like, those changes alone, I felt like I've never had issues with threat in the game, and this seems like these are some nice changes that they're adding there. So we'll see how that's going. All right, let's see here. And Mike's asking, what time do I play? I play in Central Time, so I'm in what I say Texas Central Time. But yeah, like, and I play on the East Coast server because that's closer physically. Combat changes. For some general combat changes, they updated damage scaling to lower damage increase when using only one weapon. They fixed an issue that prevented attacks or abilities when attempting to actively invite while in certain menus or interactions. They fixed an issue where weapon reticle would briefly flicker and sheathing or switching weapons. They fixed an issue where weapon reticles would not reset when sheathing ranged weapons. They fixed an issue where ranged reticles would persist if a weapon was sheathed just before a cutscene. They fixed an issue that caused impact effects to play even though no damage was dealt to the target. They fixed an issue that caused the 50 Constitution attribute to unintentionally stack repeatedly. Also, they removed the health condition to reduce the value to compensate for it always being active. Constitution 50 attribute bonus now gives 1.5% gathering luck instead of the tool durability. They updated stamina damage values to be consistent across all tiers of the same weapon types. All tiers will now match the value of the tier 5 item stamina values. They removed accuracy reductions while jumping. You cannot fire a ranged weapon in that position. They improved animation bending or blending when canceling dodges, full body attacks and reactions with ranged attacks. They made magic basic attack projectiles spawn a few frames sooner to make them line up better with the animations. They updated the tooltips for some mastery points to better call out that they increase the base damage of varying attacks. Target lock added in bindings for allied target locked to the controller remapping screen. They fixed an issue with target lock where being close to your target would cause your attacks to miss. They decreased sensitivity for selecting new targets with enemy and ally target lock on, and they fixed an issue that caused target lock on to not turn off the auto run. More noticeable fixes. Fixed an issue where holding basic attack and block at the same time could sometimes prevent players from blocking. They fixed an issue that entered in game cutscenes while performing various aim block actions and swapping weapons would cause players to get stuck. They fixed an issue where depleting stamina while blocking would cause a desync. They fixed an issue where if players die in the air in motion, that they would remain in motion. They fixed an issue where players could get the double dodge with half the stamina loss while using ranged weapons. They fixed an issue that caused the Flalix affix to result in projectiles being stuck mid-air. They fixed an issue that allowed attacks to block and cancel sheathing animations. They fixed an issue that caused wrong animations to play when and after sheathing a weapon. They fixed an issue where players could be pushed when uninterruptible if they were hit with attacks and did not trigger a stagger. They fixed an issue that allowed target spells to be aimed on targets out of the range despite being unable to cast. They fixed an issue that caused players to walk in place when holding forward and backwards simultaneously. They fixed an issue that caused knockdown while prone to put players back to where the impact was received. All right. Barn says, oh my gosh, yes, more threat. Finally, can be a threatening boy. And yes, 10.5 hours roughly until the game and the servers come back online, assuming everything goes smoothly. This is New World Aeternum, gentlemen. This does not mean that things will go according to plan. So we will wait and see on that one. Weapons, the bow. Fixed an issue that caused rain of arrows to not constantly trigger when using the ability button to activate it while aiming. They fixed numerous issues that caused abilities to not buffer correctly. They updated the aiming abilities, penetrating shot, poison shot, rain of arrows to not cancel when pressing aim, but when releasing aim while they are active. They fixed an issue that caused the rain of arrows ability to affect to not spawn at maximum range. Penetrating shot would now support smart cast. Penetrating shot and poison shot can now be fired while crouching, and fixed an issue that allowed faster firing than intended through ability canceling. For the blunderbuss, they fixed an issue of the double down effect not affecting mortar charge. They fixed an issue that caused the blunderbuss to not reload after certain cutscenes. They fixed an issue that prevented incendiary burst from applying its effect when swapping weapons. Double down now works properly when weapon swapping after using mortar or splitting grenades. For fire staff, the pillar of fire will no longer slightly push back enemies. They fixed an issue that caused the fire staff burnout explosion audio to play even when the heat up upgrade wasn't unlocked. They fixed an issue that allowed jump to cancel the pillar of fire aiming. They fixed an issue where pillar of fire tagged 2 instances of damage with a single use. They fixed an issue that prevented pillar of fire and meteor shower aim from canceling into other fire staff abilities. For the flail, which is one of my favorite weapons, fixed an issue where the arcane eruption could sometimes miss knockdown or crawling enemies. Okay, good. Fixed an issue that caused barrage first hit during the leap to not hit. I felt like that's hit me before. They fixed an issue where the bulldoze upgrade not properly reducing stamina cost to 0. They fixed an issue that caused the ironclad superiority mastery point to not always grant fortify. It now correctly only grants fortify when the tower shield is equipped. They updated the wording on the flail ability, Arcane Smite, and to make it clearer how the impairment debuff works, they updated the deflecting frailty tooltip to make the functionality more clear. They also fixed an issue where flail would rotate too much when holding rotate with the controller. And thank you, Crota, OG, Aura, Mr. Rilo, Horax, for the follows this evening. We had a couple other follows as well. Jada, Monster, Dynasty, Armong, Woe, and Tronny. Thank you guys. I hope you guys are having a great night. Appreciate y'all being here. Crotha says, skip the fire staff. Let's get to the real weapons. I knew I like you, Crota. All right. Great Axe. Fixed an issue that caused the Great Axe gravity perk to not always appear by modifying its functionality. Previously, it was 0.25 second duration, even though the tooltip said 0.33, but it would now be applied to 33 seconds, 0.33 seconds after the pull to allow for the pull to finish before triggering the root. Since the duration was so low, it caused issues where it added to the remove before the visuals could appear on the target. To address this, they are increasing the duration slightly, but adding in a slight cooldown timer to prevent the increased duration from being too strong. For the Greatsword, they updated Unflinching Blade passive to grant grit after 10 frames into the charge of the heavy attack to match the functionality of similar passes of the Warhammer and Great Axe. They fixed an issue where roaring rupture could pull targets past the player instead of the center of the impact point. They fixed an issue that caused the greatsword onslaught stance heavy attack charge speed to increase when in an exhausted state. They fixed an issue that caused the faultless defender passive to not trigger properly. And they fixed an issue that allowed the greatsword offense and defensive stances to both be on at the same point. For the hatchet, they fixed an issue that prevented attacks from buffering during effective throw. Raging Torrent can now be redirected using directional inputs when the camera direction for melee attacks is turned off. They fixed an issue that caused animations from freezing and throwing the hatchet while jumping, and they fixed an issue that caused Feral Rush's dispatch upgrade to not properly apply the damage increase on both hits. For the Ice Gauntlet, they fixed an issue that caused the Ice Pylon to shoot over enemies. They fixed an issue that deactivating Entomb via the breakout would activate Defiant Freeze. They fixed an issue where increased mana regen would persist briefly after breaking Entomb. They fixed an issue that caused characters to become unresponsive if opening the inventory while activating the Entomb ability. And they fixed an issue that didn't clear Entomb properly with a Heart Rune when it was activated. Life Staff, here we go. Here's my next big weapon. They fixed an issue that caused life staff ability buffers and cancels to not work in most cases. Fixed an issue that caused accidental basic attack buffering on the life staff and fire staff. They fixed an issue that allowed orb of protection and beacon to be canceled as soon as the projectiles spawned. They added in, there we go. They added in an option menu to automatically lock on target when starting the life staff healing ability. They fixed an issue that caused the bend light passive to not refresh the duration of the buff for a full 5 seconds within each dodge. For the musket, they renamed musket backdraft ability to ignition. So they didn't share a name with a fire staff ability. They fixed an issue where critical reload was able to trigger with more than 5 seconds between headshots. They fixed an issue that caused musket projectile visual effects to sometimes appear in the wrong place. Let's see. Boop. All right. The Rapier, they fixed an issue that caused Hondo to go on cooldown with no effect if it was canceled at certain frames during the evade. They fixed an issue where the backside Raptor perk caused the 15% damage increase to apply to all damage, not just crit damage. They fixed an issue where the 25 bonus from strength worked on the bleed from flurry. They reduced Rapier damage over time from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. For the Rapier, they reduced the damage over time duration, so a nerf there. Rapier's been just really powerful. Rapier, again, the and again perk now works properly when the weapon swapping after using Tondo on a single target. They reduced the damage of evade Adgilio upgrade from 15 to 10%. They fixed an issue that caused and again to only apply after blocking. For the spear, fixed an issue that prevented weapon swaps from buffering during the javelin animation. They fixed an issue that caused the spear's javelin ability to not activate during the dodge. They fixed an issue that caused the merciless strength passive to not trigger. And they fixed an issue that caused Cyclone Invigorating combo to inconsistently track the 2 hits. For the Void Gauntlet, they added they fixed an issue where Scream could not hit blocking players. They fixed an issue that caused unintended speed boost when canceling attack after dodges with certain abilities. They slightly increased the hitbox on Void Blade heavy attack to make it properly match the attack visuals. They addressed some Void Blade hit registration issues by increasing the size of the hitboxes slightly. They fixed an issue where the Void Blade attacks triggered the ranged sprint delay. For the Warhammer, they fixed an issue that caused Warhammer's shockwave ability to stun enemies 6 frames later than intended. The Path of Destiny can now be aimed while starting the attack using directional inputs when camera direction for melee is turned off. And as the Radona, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome in, everybody. I'm like almost out of my tea. Like, gotta keep the vocals juiced up. Richard says there's a lot they touched on. Yes. Though it's interesting because this seemed like there were some, nerfs like with the Rapier. But what's also interesting is that it was mostly primarily fixes of bugs and things like that, which will make, I think, these things feel really, really good. All right. Arch War says, what's up, guys? Yes. Lots of things going on with that. All right, game mode updates, 3v3 arena. Fixed an issue where the Phoenix artifact could trigger after round ends, leaving players dead in the next round. Woo! Duels, they fixed an issue where players in a duel could receive buffs from players outside the duel. And what's up, Azarona with the Prime sub. Eagle Garrett, dude, let's get you a shout out with the raid of 62 folks. Welcome in, guys. That's going to push up our member goal to 11. And just for anybody who's keeping score at home, every 25, I gift out 5. If you guys aren't following Eagle Garrett, dude, is an amazing dude. Let's see here. Let me go to dashboard and see if I can gently give him a nice little shout out for that beautiful raid. Shout out. And make sure I get the spelling right. E-A-G-L-E. I hope are you feeling better, Eagle? Are you feeling better? Oh, and Prime. Another Prime sub comes in. Thank you guys so much for this incredible support. I really appreciate it. Me and Julie, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Also, Jack, my editor. Big help when we get those Prime subs freaking coming in. But Solemn was actually, it was a Prime sub, but for 19 months. Woo! Welcome in, everybody, and thank you so much, Eagle. Yes, dude, I love the emotes, man. Looking freaking good, dude. All right, we got so much going on. Good. I'm glad you're feeling much better, dude. Oh, my chat froze. There we go. I'm glad I brought that up. So that's perfect. That's perfect, guys. All right. We're still going through the notes. We're almost done though, which is really great. And then we'll bring back in the Discords. The folks hanging out. It seems like Solemn and the Hulk fan is there. So we'll be kind of talking about the patch notes and more. You guys are always welcome to join in. It is free to be a part of this community. The top link in the description will get you into the Discord, or you can use the Discord command to jump in. All right, economy, progression, and gear. Evasions have been disabled for the first week of standard worlds to give companies time to gear up and prepare. Battle bread is now set to not be cleansed by the Nature's Wrath artifact. Coatings now work more like honing stones. They aren't tied to specific weapons and will instead last for their full duration even if the current weapon is unequipped or changed. They fixed an issue where potion purchases from the Fort Armory during war or invasion did not play animations. They fixed an issue where the auto artifact unique perk was not triggering. They updated the tooltip for Scorpion Sting perk, and clarified the house set a flat value that cannot be reduced by non-conditional cooldown reductions. Any sort of conditional cooldown reduction is still reduced the cooldown after it is set. Transmogs tokens can no longer be obtained from elite chest. Woo! That seems like maybe more of a money play. Like I thought, them taking out the transmog tokens from the elite chest. That's kind of a bummer. Hopefully, there's another better way to kind of earn them without having to open your wallet for those who really enjoy the transmog. For the perks, fixed an issue where shirking elemental damage perks were improperly flagged as empowers. They reduced shirking elemental damage perk max power from 45 to 30%. They made functional changes to Healing Breeze. They increased the value of up to 16%. They removed the activation cooldown for the ability and changed it to be an application cooldown for the status effect, and the perk, not activation. Cooldown is now per target as it is applied, but it will also be more beneficially to use this when healing others as a healer. They added functionality to reduce the potency of Healing Breeze when applied to self by 35%. They fixed an issue where the Healing Tomb perk would not always be applied. They fixed an issue where Brutal Stone Form applied the Fortify and other Stone Form variants. They fixed an issue where Heart Room activation would not constantly trigger the Purifying Heart and Healing Effect perks. For other noticeable fixes, they fixed an issue where pirated ranged weapons, certain items from the Barnacles and Black Powder Mutator, will roll with the Rogue perk, a non-fictional perk on their way. Hype Train, wow. Oh my gosh, tier 1 month of sub for Martin. Thank you so much. Pushing us to 13 on the day. Thank you very much. I haven't seen that new animation. We got a hype train, guys. Thank you all so much for that. All right. They fixed an issue where the pirated weapons. They fixed the issue where the premium glow worm bait incorrectly said it worked in fresh water. They fixed an issue that caused the Mastiff pet animation not to loop properly. They fixed an issue that caused players to randomly lose 1 experience point. And for the mounts, they fixed the mount quest. Stag with the subscription of the Prime. Thank you, Stag, for using those Bezos bucks over here on me as well. The for the mount quest now shows the hotkey needed to summon the mount. They fixed an issue causing large positional desyncs when auto running while mounted after an extended period of lag. They fixed an issue that caused the mount UI to remain active while entering in an expedition. They fixed an issue where they reduced vertical camera movement not to apply when jumping while mounted. They fixed an issue where the player's stamina bar would remain hidden if they had logged out while mounted, and they fixed an issue where some mounts would not appear in the collection that was fit to open. And we got another member in with Captain Galleon. Dude, how you been, Cap? I hope you've been well, sir. 3 months, dude, with that Prime sub. Thank you for the 3 months of support for those Bezos bucks, dude. Loving it. Loving it. All right. The UI, the UX, the social. This is the last part. We did it, guys. All right. Woo. All right. Maximum character limit as the character names has been updated from 15 to 16. Factional switching cooldown, which activates after the first faction switch, has been reduced to 30 days. There is now zero tolerance filter aimed at very specific terms set through in-game chat, whether or not the language filter is enabled. If the filter picks up any instance of those terms, the chat messages will be rejected by the server silently, and the messages will not be sent to the world. The UI now closes when using Unstuck, similar to how Recall works and ends. They increase the disconnect rejoin grace period in cross-world modes, War and Invasion, from 1 minute to 3 minutes in response to players' feedback. That seems like a really great feature. Notable fixes. Oh, yeah. Stag says, sorry, I forgot I had my Prime sub available. Dude, you don't owe me an apology. You guys don't owe me anything. I really just appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you guys and have fun. And as a Rondona, gifting out 5 community subs to the channel. That takes us to 20 out of 25. Thank you guys absolutely so much for that support. We do have a Discord. You can use the Discord command in chat over on Discord. If you have your Discord linked up to your Twitch and you are like a sub, or you have a gifted sub, you should actually see the server as well. There's lots of little perks and things like that included. Now, hopefully that bot commands works. Otherwise, if you look at any of the content I make, the top link in the description will get you to all the social stuff, all the good stuff out there. All right. Let's see. We'll continue on. OCD Gaming, Obi Tai. So many follows. Martin Bassarelli, Splitana 615. Thank you guys. All right, they fixed a cooldown UI not being updated properly and cooldown reduction abilities. They fixed an issue where the target lock icon could appear out of place on resolutions other than 1920 by 1080. They fixed an issue where the number of revives remaining while at death's door could be higher than what was actually available in instance game modes. They fixed an issue that caused the global refining buff by the Weaver's Fin fort to not show as applied. They fixed various issues in-game scoreboard and Outpost Rush, team colors not applying, teams being swapped, and scores not updating. They fixed an issue where characters in standard worlds, formerly Fresh Start worlds, couldn't transfer to other standard worlds. And they fixed an issue where matchmaking Q HUD would persist into matches. They fixed an issue that caused the post-progress FX texture to get stuck on screen. We made it through the notes, guys. We talked about so much stuff before going to the notes, but 30 minutes isn't bad. 30 minutes isn't bad. If you guys are watching this as some kind of VOD, if you guys are watching this as a highlight and you hung out for the patch notes and as well as all the thanks of support, thank you guys so much for being here. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I will try to have these up before the server goes up, but we will see. If nothing else, it'll be a nice archive for those who want to kind of jump back into it. Pix Bud says, hey dude, what time is the game going to be up? Pacific time. I believe it's going to be up at 6 a.m. Pacific time. The game will be up. That's 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, assuming that we don't see any kind of problems or issues that arise with that. Now, I've brought back in the Discord group because that was a fun little break to make sure we got through all the patch notes, and we did it. And you guys really just showed up. So what do you guys like? I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but there's just been so many messages.
It's been very quiet in here. Yeah. It's been very quiet.
I see the Hulk fan rejoin. Solemn. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a lot of just bug fixes, right?
Yeah, like
mostly, which is fine.
I think because we've already kind of played, you know, with the because they've done some of that stuff already. And then obviously we got the raid, we got the content. I thought it was funny that they listed off the Lazarus instrumentality, and then it's like, all right, notable fixes. I was like, I thought they were related, like we were gonna go dungeon to dungeon. Nope, not in this case. Is the Discord bot not working? Let me just jump over here. Let's see here. Guess not. Okay, let me find that link.
What's up, yo?
What's up, Hulk? How you doing? And Solemn, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I've been really super hardcore into that Throne and Liberty.
Dude, people are liking it.
Throne and Liberty too.
People are liking it, dude. That makes me happy. Like, you know, let more games win. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. I guess I need to fix that bot. But there's the link that will get you to all of the content that I make. That's the Discord. That's my many ridiculous channels. That's the podcasts. So thank you. So check out that link if you guys are wanting to check it out. We have I would love to get some more MP3 listeners on the Crystal Core Radio podcast. We do pretty good though, so it's like I feel very blessed this year. Podbean. I'm gonna pull up some stats. We were showing stats earlier.
Like all the guests we've been having on there.
Dude, it's been fun. I'm so glad so many people have said yes. You know, and it's like that means a lot because like back to our conversation about some people in certain video game communities, like they're not about discussion. They're like you fall in line or you're excommunicated, and it's like, all right, well then I'm excommunicated. Coming up on 63,000 total downloads, and then the podcast, yeah, roughly getting around that 100. This one just came out. I didn't think Halo was going to be a big subject for the people who have subscribed, but yeah, I still wanted to talk about it because it's an interest. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, boys. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, have I made any money? It's like
maybe.
I doubt it. Like I it is what it is. I don't think I actually make money on the MP3s, but I do like seeing the numbers go up. So that link will get you to the podcast, guys. If you want to go check it out, I would like that. And if not, no worries. So Stack says, I've been enjoying your podcast. Some fun topics. Yes. Thank you.
Indeed.
And it's we film it live every Friday at like 11:30 with some exceptions. So we try to keep it pretty consistent. Like when we talked earlier about like why am I not in the trials of Aeternum, it's like if they asked, they didn't ask. But if they asked, I don't think I could have done it anyway. Like I think I give off that vibe. I'm like, no, I don't have 3 weeks that I can take off work and do this thing. It's like, oh man, that would stress me and my wife out like to no end. I'm like, oh man, I hate when a game makes you feel like you're falling behind.
Is this the guy?
Stag of Faith has reached 3 stream streaks. I like it.
Making it happen.
So Andrew says, will I be on console PC when the update drops? For the live streams and stuff? Yes. Yes. I'm gonna be sticking with my main PC character for our social. That's what we do here. We play together. But I do have the game on Xbox, and I'll be using that to kind of play through the story and enjoy the cutscenes. You know, not necessarily because I hate when I miss a comment. I hate when because if you guys come in and you give me some of your attention and you're talking, I want to give you some of my attention back, and you know, that's where it's like sometimes when I'm focusing on the game or the story, it ends up being more about that. And I like our live streams to be more, you know, of a conversation in a way, kind of a call-in show podcast where it's like, you know, I've even thought about ripping these and throwing these up into the like the live streams and throwing them up into the Epic Loot Radio for those who are subscribed to that as the replacement there, but we'll see. Any news on a new weapon? Hints of dual pistols. I think a lot of people were kind of speculating on it. I do hope we see daggers though.
There are hints of.
I'd be interested in them daggers.
Yeah, let's get them daggers. Well, I think that's one of the archetypes. Like if we were thinking of like a role.
Overrated soundboard.
Overrated.
Like daggers are the most overrated weapon ever.
I think that
Which
would
is
be an
funny
archetype
because they
that
don't
people
have
would
it
enjoy.
Yeah. I mean,
It was in an article that I saw them kind of like, oh, you see, and I was like, the enemies that carry dual pistols. A dagger
So
pistol combo could be cool.
it's known that they are doing
The daggers, right?
the daggers next.
Oh, it's known.
Yeah. So
I thought I
there
heard
was
that too. Yeah.
There was a dev diary or whatever they are. That
Can you link that? Like, did I miss that?
It was a long time
Oh,
ago. It was
then
a
yes, I know
video
what you're talking about. Yeah, they talked about, and they were like going to go with the flail first
and they were like, "What?"
because they needed a focus weapon.
Yeah, they did the focus weapon, and then it was like, "What are you gonna do after?" And Katie was like, "Dual daggers," and yeah.
Yeah, and but the question will end up being is like, will we see the dual like? How kick-ass would it be? I don't know if it's gonna like would be December, but like when the next season, like how kick-ass would it be to be like, hey, we just had this big update, and then we follow it up with the new weapon, and they did that with the Void Gauntlet. So if they did that,
excitement.
well, it would give them good excitement. It gets a lot of people going like, oh, you know, like I just hit level 65, and now I can go check out this weapon, and that would be, I think, a real good power play because there's going to be enough new players that there's just enough content for the new players. And then that would also be another way of re-inviting fallen away PC players back into the fold. Arcade Gamer, welcome into the Soul Nation. We saw
Pretty good nation to be in.
Yeah, we are one soul. I since I lack a soul, I have to collect.
Ginger brother.
That is what they say.
Yeah, that is what they say. Anything I would recommend for a new player, you cannot make a mistake. Focusing on what you're having fun in. Don't worry about anything meta-wise. Everything you can reset.
I don't want to talk about
Everything you do in the game is the right thing.
Everything you do in the game is the right direction.
Listen, take it from me, right? So that's an interesting name. Take it from me. I leveled up with what's it called? Wow, brain fart. I leveled up with Warhammer Musket, and then I leveled purely through professions. Took me a while. Took me a month or two.
Yeah. Transition the desk a little bit.
It was literally the most fun thing I could do was level through professions, because everything gives you experience. Chopping trees, mining rocks. You know, turning rocks into smaller rocks.
Making bricks.
That's what I mean. Yeah, making bricks.
Making bricks. RK says,
although they're getting rid of ammunition, aren't they?
Yeah, ammunition's gone.
Yeah,
Thank good.
I don't know. It's a bit of a bittersweet thing in my eyes.
Yeah, it's bittersweet for sure. I liked ammunition. I always thought it was. That's how I made my money in Final Fantasy 11 back in the day. I was like, I just make arrows.
Yeah.
Just make people need them. They're always in demand.
I mean, I like that you don't need it to like shoot.
Right.
Like it's just like you do 1x damage.
Yeah.
But like I like the fact that it was a damage multiplier when you applied it.
RK, yeah. RK asks, will drops work on console? They should. You can link up your Twitch and your console account, and so as you get drops, they unlock and they just show up. So there should not be a reason why drops do not work on console. I saw a question is, do you guys recommend picking up this game on PlayStation 5? The game runs incredible on PlayStation 5. So yes, I would recommend that if you are wanting to play on console, that's where you would go. The biggest weakness, no cross progression. So if you're ever like, hey, I've enjoyed playing on console, I'll go take my character on PC. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Cross play though is great because PlayStation, Xbox, PC, we're all hanging out. Maybe the Switch 2. Maybe we'll see this on the Switch 2 and the Steam Deck, y'all. Like that's what I'm thinking, right? Let's go. You know, when I'm standing up, it does feel like I'm doing more of a performance rather than when I'm sitting down. So let me just hold the mic like I'm on stage. Balls.
Gets the blood flowing to the balls.
Yes.
That's funny.
Let's see here. The Doom Break, awesome name, by the way. Says loving the content, dude. Thanks, man. I'm glad that you guys are vibing with what I put out there in the world. It is refreshing. I am somewhat, and not trying to be pessimistic here, but I am slightly anticipating when the hype train leaves and then we get the doomers coming back out of their like caves. Oh, you guys see the population of this game has dropped slightly. The game is dead.
Yeah, you hear that from every game from people load on shit.
You just hear like that's some people's game, dude. Like they only care about like I want to play the most popular. Like they're just trend chasing. Like and it's like and if the trend is like, hey, it's gonna be hype, it's gonna be beneficial for me to get attention by being negative. Well, then they'll be negative. They don't. They lack a lot of integrity and or. In they being being charitable to them is that maybe they're just getting caught up into it. Like, you know, it's very easy to, you know, and that's one of the reasons why they label us influencers, which I think is a dirty word, but it's true. Like, yeah, it's like, I don't like that. You know, I think influence is a thing. I think people can influence each other, but the idea that like, what do? I influence people. I tell them my thoughts and then if they don't agree with me, I block them. It's like, what are we talking about here, bro?
Yeah.
Yes, we did the patch notes reading a little bit ago, Scenic. You can, if you want to scroll back up, it's 30 minutes. We kicked it off around the hour mark on the stream, and we've been just kind of now chatting 15 minutes after that. If you were on a PS5 like me, don't join a PS5 only server, join the crossplay server. Ooh. I would not recommend going with a console only server because we also don't know what happens in 5 months, 6 months. Like, are people still on that server? Do you feel like isolated? Do you feel like, okay, now I'm going to get moved into I think they're there for people who want them. But I would not personally invest because you want population. You want like, who cares if they're on the Xbox? Who cares if they're really on PC? You know, yeah. It's like that's just the general view. That's why you see more MMOs come into console, right? Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 kind of being the leader in that regards. With what I would have said, which I say is like they had the best controller support for an MMO. But I think New World has taken that crown. I think New World's taken that crown. RK says, if I make a character on a foreign server and that comes out first, can I transfer it once the US servers come out or will I have to start over? You will at the moment have to start over. I think they are limiting, they're not allowing for regional transfers right now. And I think that's namely to kind of combat that. Because they have allowed regional transfers. I do think that will get turned on later, kind of after the initial kind of wave, but rather than adding in more stress to the servers. So no, I would not start a character with the intention on another server, in the EU. If you don't want to stick with leveling them. But if you got downtime and you're like, what else am I gonna do? Then do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Says, I wish New World would bring back the old pre-release gem socket system where gems gave attribute points. It also gave much more potential for unique build diversity. Was that a part of like the alpha? Because I don't remember that in the beta.
That was the pre-release.
Yeah, because I got that. They cut that, I think, pretty earlier on, at least in the grand scheme of things that they, as the game developed, took a little while. I'm in hopes. Fishing was on the list for this title. Dude, fishing is great in this game. But that's where I spend most of my time.
I can't get fishing done on that Throne of Liberty, man.
I haven't fished in Throne of Liberty yet.
I don't like it. I couldn't. Then again, it's just a me issue.
Yeah. The Kecker and Sci-Fi Fan, thank you guys for the follow over here on Twitch, man. And thank you guys for the 74 likes. I think probably as a VOD, this thing's gonna hit 100. This is gonna be great.
Very nice.
Have they shown us the Twitch drops yet? I have not seen them yet. That's why on the Twitch I have drops. Are they? I'm assuming they're gonna do that. It's such a great marketing strategy.
I haven't got my Twitch drops yet on the other on Throne of Liberty. I don't know why.
Can I go over some good money making strats for early game and whether or not you should focus money or leveling? Also, what happened to the daggers? We're still waiting for the daggers. We kind of talked about that just a little bit ago, and I think that's essentially what's coming next, according to the panel here in the call-in room. But we don't have a release date, and I'm personally hoping that we get to see them drop that in November. Sci-Fi Fan, thank you so much for that Prime sub, pushing us to 21. Boom, baby. I love those Prime subs, guys. Whether you spend them on me or you spend them on somebody, make sure Jeff Bezos is spending that money over on Twitch. Let's see here. But yeah, good money making strategies are, yes, I would prioritize on making money. Because like any kind of market economy, when there is hype, when there are players, there's going to be need. And you can go and you can be that supplier. And that is mining, farming trees, any kind of materials, especially on these fresh start worlds. If you become a supplier, you're going to be flushed with money. They're going to just keep buying your product. And then when the kind of hype dies down and they've kind of done their leveling, then everything gets cheaper. And then you could decide if you want to go mine it and farm it for yourself, or you being flush with cash, you get to put up buy orders and they will go and farm for you for pennies on what they paid you. So buy low, sell high, be a supplier. So if you really want to make money, you want to get a good head start in that, that's the game you want to play. And if you guys, RK, if you haven't seen my video today, I go on there's like a couple of money making tips that I put in that video that hopefully will help people out. Let me take a look. How is that video doing? Woo! Well, it's my #1 video. That's awesome. The impression click-through rate rocking a 13.9. Average view duration 5 minutes. That's not bad. And it's right now at 3.2, 3,200 views. So thank you guys. How is it still going though? Like I get, because sometimes it's like it pops up and then eventually just kind of goes away. That's still doing good. It's pulling in 600 views an hour. Cool. You love to see it. RK already watched it. Yeah, so when you go to list things on the market, especially if things are hot, don't put long listings on it because they're going to sell. And so you're just going to be, losing money on that. Not Dasby with the follow. Welcome in. Martine Baselli giving out a gifted sub over here on Twitch. Thank you for that. We'll just increase that counter to 22. You bought New World on Xbox? Yeah, dude. That's where I'm gonna have that as well. Have they has the server list linked yet? No, I have not yet seen that myself. Dude, Richard, I agree. Richard says farming is a part of the fun. 100%. 100%. And Moto Whip and Divine Killer, welcome and thank you guys for hitting that follow button. Hopefully you guys are having a good day out there wherever you are. JT says, do you know what time PC players start the update? I think the servers go offline here in 15 minutes, and I think that's when, within probably that kind of reasonable, probably within the next hour. And it's not an update. It is a new client. It is a new download. And so if you have the game right now, according to the devs, because I actually asked them about this directly, and they said, yeah, so you can, server goes offline, you can uninstall that version in New World. New World Aternum is the new version. Sci-Fi Fan says, holy moly, I just read your bio and you're a father of 6. I'm exhausted with just one 2-year-old. Can't imagine 5 other little ones running around. Gaming time has definitely gone down just a tad. So here's the thing, Sci-Fi Fan. My kids aren't the same age, and what you'll find is that as they get older, it kind of gets a little bit easier. But the other thing you'll find is that they will have each other, brothers and sisters, as friends to play with each other. So I am blessed because we weren't able to have children, and then we were, and that was a journey that me and my wife went on, and she had brain surgery. It was wild stuff. So I'm very happy to have this size family. And yes, gaming does take a back seat, you know, but it's fun because now we're also gaming together. Been playing Final Fantasy IV on the Pixel remasters with them, playing Manifesto, or excuse me, Metaphor. Bad Boy Delta or Divine Killer did the sponsored drink. So this drink is sponsored by Divine Killer. Thanks for redeeming those channel points. Bad Boy Delta with a follow. Welcome in. Yeah, separate download, and I'm kind of hoping that also means it's going to be separately tracked on SteamDB, because I do not, and who knows, like if I'm wrong, oh no, but that's like, I do not think we're going to see with New World Aeternum them getting into that 900,000 concurrent. I do think they're going to have a good showing, but it would be really cool to have kind of a new concurrent benchmark for people to kind of show, because I mean, there were so many factors that went into that number. Dude, the chopping trees, the mining, like this game has magic to it, and it's one of the things like Cameron was saying, like he kind of hit level cap on just kind of like doing all that stuff.
I was just chilling, like people were rushing, and I was like, yeah, I'll hit this rock for a couple of times.
You know, yeah. And I think it was RK that was talking about like other tips. It's like the other thing I always kind of say is that if you think about New World in this way, that the end game begins at level 1. You're gonna have a really good experience, and you're gonna have that experience all the way through. And then when you hit level cap, and all of a sudden you have new content, but then you're benefiting deeply from all the other things that you've kind of been enjoying. That's the model. Final Fantasy XI's end game was it started at level 1. That's what I look for in these games, and I think that's what New World has given me. Brave Bear JB, how you been, dude? He says, hey, hope you're doing well. Looking forward to tomorrow. Absolutely. Sci-Fi Fan says it's been around 1500. I think that, so hopefully I'll pop back up at least to 40k with servers. I think that they'll get at least 80k, hopefully for not more. I think the fresh start server experience is going to help drive a lot of playtime. A lot of people, they obviously doing a 3-week marketing campaign, which again, like, I am not upset that I'm not a part of that. I'm relieved that it's like if they asked me, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, but then I'm like, oh dude, like don't even tempt me. Yeah, the higher player count is going to be on console, and that's where like it having so much visibility into just one number, it just makes people not really truly, it makes some content creators, some analysts just miss the forest from the trees, because they're like, oh, the number's going down. Yeah, but look at the time it took for that number to really go down. And it, like, even despite all the issues, New World held on to a decent, really juicy player base for the first like 4 to 6 months. And that's when all of it, like, because it had 4 to 6 months of content. So I think essentially New World now has more than 4 to 6 months of content in it. Now, I don't think any of us really would benefit from having a game that's the only game you play, right? So I can see that from this point forward, if they go with that yearly expansion model, it becomes a seasonal game, a game that you check in, to every, for 2, 3, 4 months out of your year, which is healthy, right? Because Monster Hunter Wilds, I believe, is coming out next year. Like, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Dune MMO. I'm looking forward to playing the Ashes of Creation Alpha. PAX Day is about to get a big update, wipe, and reset. I'm going to be checking it back with that. You got Pantheon. On top of that, I absolutely adore No Rest for the Wicked. And if you guys follow me over on the main channel, yeah, it's an incredible game. Incredible. I've been playing Metaphor. Amazing. I've been playing the Pixel remasters. Incredible. And gaming for me as a parent, we were talking earlier, like you just sci-fi fans, like you got 6 kids, how do you play games? Like it's all about just finding those little moments where I can kind of just like, okay, I'm gonna have some downtime, and it's always about swallowing the frog. So my game time, my stream time, all of that falls after I get all of my, you know, parenting, husband, spousal, you know, things like that, all that good stuff. But with not, it has been, oh, it was Prime Sub. I thought I said it, you've been subbed for 9 months and you just realized that I had 6 kids. That's just wild. But no, that wasn't the case. Is it worth to pay for the full package? I'm wondering if you're talking about the upgrade. Personally, I don't ever really recommend spending more money on a game that you don't have to spend it on unless for some reason you just want it. Now, the upgrade comes with a bear mount, and I'm going to tell you hands down, I hope they give me the ability to buy that bear mount, because I will. I thought that bear mount looked kick-ass. Have I played Witchfire or Sulfur? I saw that Witchfire is now in early access. It was something that's on my radar. I just now haven't got around to it. New World Aeternum launches officially. It's going to be at 6 a.m. and it's 6 a.m. Pacific, so 8 a.m. Central. So not 12 hours, because that would be, so like 2 hours, 10 hours from now, assuming that everything goes well. Yeah. Central Time represent, y'all. Oh, wow. Did the channel just jump up 100 new subscribers? Wow.
Because they realized your greatness.
they realized that, and it's like, and then the hype wears off and everybody kind of just like, all right, you know, because again, I'm not going to cover every game. I just don't think that's
wears off, and they're just like, wow, this guy's
just the good ones.
Yeah, just the ones I actually care about. That's where it's always kind of fun, because there are trend chasers, and occasionally I hit that where the algorithm's very favorable to me, and then it will be like, because it's like, let me just kind of pull up some fun stats, just to kind of compare. So like in terms of subscribers, like over this month, 2,000 new subscribers here on the MMO channel. So thank you guys so much for that. And then if I go to Prime, which is the highest sub count that I have, if I go into the new subscribers, got 142. So it's like, it's all growing, but it definitely at different paces. And that's, you know, due part that we're still waiting for No Rest for the Wicked, still waiting for Light No Fire, you know, so I'm looking forward to those. And when all of a sudden that excitement really starts to build up, that's when like I tend to grow the fastest, whenever through just being interested in covering a game before anybody else is, you know, kind of get a benefit from whenever things kind of pop off. We are assuming it might be in about 6 minutes. I could see that it could be a little bit, but when the servers should officially be going offline here in about 4 minutes, I believe. The Xbox and the PlayStation 5 versions are basically the same. Yes, they're just the console versions. So whatever console you prefer to play on, that's where you want to play. Now it is a buy-to-play game, so it will require whether you need Game Pass or you need PlayStation Plus, but that is the only extra requirement. I don't think Throne of Liberty has that because it's free to play.
Yeah, because I was going.
I'm also the first person that pops up when you search New World. Yeah, thanks YouTube. Yeah, it's funny because it's all I always am amused by when people come in and they try to like dunk on me or just like talk trash to me. They're like, "Oh man, you're not getting these views." I was like, I get so many views because I mostly focus on evergreen content. I just don't get a lot of spike views. So usually my videos come in from a stats perspective. It tells you like the last 10 videos. They're always kind of like, hey, you got a 5 here, you know, like it's doing good. And then it's like occasionally something just kind of pops off. And that's usually honestly where you get the most kind of, you know, mean comments from people who are like, this video showed up in my feed. You sound like an asshole. I hate you. I was like, all right, thanks, I guess.
Those might be the people that have the issues, though.
Yeah. Social media tends to
highlight those people.
Highlight that. But that's cool. I didn't realize I was the first person that pops up when you search New World.
Getting that representation.
I'll take it. Like, you know, I think, you know, I'm not hating on anybody here. I really appreciate y'all so much, but yeah, like I do also. I'm like, yeah. In a couple of months, you know, if the news is slow and whatnot, and y'all are all watching somebody else, talking to somebody else, like that's fine. Like y'all don't owe me nothing. We'll hang out when you want to hang out. That's what these live streams are. They're just like, let me text my buds. Let's go play some games. Let's talk video games. So be sure to ring the bell. Like, you know, honestly, I think that's something I wish YouTube could do a little bit better of a job on. Is like just give people more like bell options, right? You're like, hey, I want to know when a video goes up, but I don't want to know when a live stream goes up, or vice versa.
Some of mine don't work with people I subscribe to. I don't.
Yeah, it is really weirdly hit or miss. That's another comment that I'll get. That's always like, for some reason, it gathers my attention. They're like, "Hey, are you still making videos?" It's like, yeah. They're like, I haven't seen any. I'm like, yeah, you know, like based off of what you watch, based off of what you interact with, is what you're gonna get. So if you interact with a lot of mean and hateful and angry people, you're gonna get that the algorithm's like, here you go, here's more of that, you know. And that's just the irony of it.
You know how to avoid missing those notifications for the videos? You get in that Discord and you get every single video notification.
Yeah, probably true. So many annoying Discord messages. New videos up, boys. Let's go.
Hey, that's how I know when to look out.
I'm like, hey, that
never
is
missing a video.
Yeah, that's the actually I would say screw the bell, be in Discord, because I have no control over like who gets notified via the bells and whatnot.
I got my notifications turned off on everything just because, like, people like to spam me on my Discord some days, you know. And so, like, and I just turned it on my notifications off on the phone. So,
if you pre-order the game, Kevly, you get the wolf mount, and I believe you have until tomorrow to do that, to get access to that, the Azov wolf mount, which is a pre-order bonus. Or if you're a PC player, you had to log into the game between the announcement and then release.
Yeah, you have until 11:59 tonight. Eastern time, Pacific time. Can't remember.
Got a couple people to welcome in. We talked Bad Boy Delta, God, Steph, Fallen Sin, Pickled Opossum, Kevin Link, there we go, Mystic, and Nocor. Welcome in, guys. Thank you guys so much for hitting the follow button over here on Twitch. Generally speaking, just because I know we got a lot of new people hanging out with us right now, live streams tend to be Wednesdays and Sundays. So we do a little bit of that, and you know, so, and it's come and go.
just a quick update on the Azov Stalker mount.
Yeah.
If you're Xbox, either X or S, and PlayStation 5, you have to pre-order New World Aeternum. If you're a PC player, you have to buy both New World and the Angry Earth expansion, and you have to log in before 11:59 Pacific time tonight. Yeah. Like, create a character, log into the world, and then do that. So
the servers don't go live at midnight. They're going to go live at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Right.
My wife's thanking them game people for that, too, because I was going to stay up at night, but...
Yeah.
Those staggered releases.
Yeah, then they said then I heard it was gonna be out like in the morning, so I was like, I'll just go to bed then.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna take my kids to school. I'm gonna do some work, and then I might pop on at 10. Like again, like I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to hang out and jump on in with everybody, but then I was like, there's other things that I have to do in the morning, so I'm gonna do those things, and then like I'll probably try to get on as soon as I can. Miki says, I just woke up. Are the servers down now for the changeover? They should be. I'm not on the server, so. And the update should be rolling out pretty soon. If not, I would estimate, if not now, then within the hour to do the pre-patch. Let me just pull up Steam and see if there's any cool stuff.
If you look at off top, like it's on the topic, but if you look at the reviews on Xbox for New World, they're already positive.
Oh, dude, it's
crazy.
Like I said, I think it was like everything's changed. Is like you take all the things that people liked about the game, and then you fix all the problems that people had issues with, and then you have New World Aeternum. So it's like, yeah, all those things that people were really frustrated with. It's like, yeah, turns out they fixed it.
I'm glad I found out about this game though, because it's giving me some hype to play something other than Fortnite. So, I mean,
well, I'm uninstalling New World. There we go. So we'll just let that figure itself out.
I've already got more games than I can keep up with at this point, but I'll take some more.
Dude, yeah, let me just pull in my game library.
There's just not been much out there.
So many.
The only games I got is Fortnite, Fall Guys, GoldenEye, Halo, and then now I got Throne of Liberty and New World.
Yeah.
What ones I got?
I've been playing a whole slab of them: Dragon Ball, Spark, and Zero.
Oh, I've heard that's been one of the biggest fighting game release.
It is. It's a fun fighting game. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, obviously. Excellent graphics. You got the cool what if this had happened instead of this storylines. Just good all around game.
Mofo says that the servers are in fact down. Thank you, Mofo. And Doombreak says uninstall. And yes, New World Eternum on PC is a new installation. It is a new game. It is not there's not an update that's going to be applied to the New World local install. So I was like, all right, it's the servers are offline. New World is no more. New World Eternum is the phoenix that rises from the ashes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, guys, we're at 2 hours and 11 minutes, and we talked a whole bunch of stuff. My tea is completely out, and I need to go get some beauty rest because this hairline isn't gonna just rest. I don't know. It isn't gonna just look this damn good.
My hair's going I'm going bald, like
oh,
balding.
Yeah, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
2/3 of the male population go in some form of male pattern baldness. I believe it's the statistic.
I was talking with my sons because like their grandpa it has a full head of hair, and I was like, I think you guys hopefully are in the clear. My grandfather on my mom's side had a full head of hair, so I don't know what went wrong. It's like, all right,
they stole your good luck. They
well,
stole
and
your
that's
spot
like
in the gene pool.
And I was saying, like, guys, like I can't be fat and bald. I have to pick one option, and since this is being the choice that's given me, it's time I lose this weight.
As long as you keep the beard, I think you could go for at least average dad bod.
Dude, I like the beard. I've always enjoyed the beard.
I'm always for beard. I don't shave mine for anything.
I wish I could. I want to get it like. I wish I had the discipline to get it fancier because, like, I look at like
the handlebar mustache. And
no, not the handlebar, but more like I've seen a lot of like. It's kind of more like on the militant Catholic side, like where you just have like these really rugged beards, and I was like, that looks cool.
Mine's
I could sign up for that.
Beard from God of War.
Yeah.
I just got a goatee, but I still need to get my head shaved and I need to shave the rest of my facial hair except for the goatee. But
oh, dude, I did the goatee back in the day. Like that was my go-to when I was in high school and in college, and then after college I was like, well, we'll just let the whole thing kind of fill in, and we've had some fun with it. We've cut my beard into different shaves. I have like I'm not hairy right now because I went in. Julie surprised me and got me like an hour massage, which was just wonderful. But I shaved. Like nice. I had to shave the back and the chest and everything because I don't want anybody like massaging me. And then it's like, well, this guy's like a bear, So, but I used to shave like various symbols. So one time I shaved like the Nike swoosh, into my like chest hair, and like my coach found out or whatever. So they were out in the football and they were like, "All right, let's see it." And then they're just like, "You're so ridiculous."
That's good.
So it's like, hey, you know, when you got a gift, make art. You know,
Gotta make some of it.
right. Let's see here. I'm gonna quit Steam and we'll see if the because if I come back into it, sometimes that's usually kind of how that refreshes like downloads and whatnot. We'll see if the pre-download is up, because they said it was going up on the 14th, which that's where we're at. So maybe they meant the 14th in sometime Pacific time. Let's see.
I
here.
wish it would work now. I really want to play it, but I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking like people are gonna say like excited to play it after when they get off work and stuff like that. So. If we can't play together during y'all's scheduled time, because generally I do kind of a lunch stream on Wednesday, we've been doing kind of an afternoon stream on Sunday. So if you miss one, maybe you can make the other. Like, you know, like it should all work out, hopefully.
Where I'm disabled, I got all the time in the world.
Well, then we get to play. Then you and I get to play a lot of games. Then that's gonna be great. That's gonna be fun. I don't see it yet. Go ahead.
Speaking of which, do you know, like, are you creating a server? Or are you gonna be like do you know what server you're gonna be in, or?
Yeah, Maramba. I'm not moving servers. Being that I invite people to come, you know, hang out and play and whatnot, I don't think it's appropriate to transfer to other servers and have you guys try to chase and keep up, because there's a cost to that, and that just seems kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you said that was Maramba.
Maramba. Maramba.
Make sure the chat gets a good hear of that. Everyone, we're going to that server.
And well, that's where I'm already. You know, if you're already.
Some of us are already there.
Sid VK, Surless, Bad Voodoo, Funky P, Jacob B, Fabsass, Tryhard, Miki, Grimstone Beard. Welcome in. Followed by Maelstrom God. Welcome in, guys.
The names never disappoint.
Well, if I get it anywhere remotely, anywhere near a remote pronunciation, that's all we can really ask for. That's all we can hope for.
Hey, well, they always keep the names interesting for you, so it's always a challenge.
My names are always so boring. I can't kill them. So I just put this.
Mike says he sees it in the store now. Go to the store. Will it show up on the home page?
You talking about for on the console, or?
I don't know.
I'm looking on the
New World Aeternum in library.
New World, the first highlighted game for Xbox for games coming soon. It's like it's highlighted. It's like the second game. Some other game on there, I don't know how to pronounce, is on here now. It's above it, but.
I know you can pre-order it now. I don't know about if you can pre-download it now.
It doesn't have a download button yet for me.
Mine's downloaded. It's a 70 gig update for me.
Okay.
Unless it's gonna be more. 71.5 actually. But.
I think even if it's the same, what they were saying, like it literally is just replaced. Like, I think all the code is being replaced, so it's a big download. Yeah. Big update.
The about page on console says 70.5 gigs, so that's probably the whole thing for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go to the Rise of Angry Earth. Okay.
It might be. I don't know. I'm gonna get up first thing in the morning.
The old version, though. You would be able to download that.
What y'all think about that?
Aeternum is the new one.
Oh, sorry.
No, what were we saying, Hulk?
I said, what y'all think about that? I ordered one that comes with a bear, right?
Oh, you got that? Oh, the bear looks sweet, dude. I hope I can purchase the bear. I would like to buy that.
Like 30 minutes or to an hour. Like, what one do I want to buy? I was like, I really like that bear, man. So I don't know if I like the armor more, like that you can get with it.
Yeah.
But I do like the bear mount. I've heard some people say it's gonna be a little clunky though. Like, I don't know, because on Elder Scrolls, if you ever played Elder Scrolls Online and you seen the bear run, it was so clunky looking.
Oh, you're right. Restart Steam, boys. New World Aeternum. There we go. There we go. All right, it is now downloading it. So can confirm. Thank you, Sprig. New Sprig. Whoever said that. So that the Discord said you just restart Steam. So if you're on the PC, you can download it, and it's just right under the 70 gigs. So
no, Mike Bailey on YouTube.
Mike, thank you, Mike Bailey. Sorry that I'm said the wrong name.
Download stuff because I'm not a fan of the whole. I mean, I get it, gaming's adaptive, but I just kind of miss the plug and play. You know what I mean?
Oh, the joy of consoles. Yeah.
Playing a 20-year-old Game Boy Advance SP right now, man.
Heck yeah! Heck yeah!
With a 20-year-old game.
Guys, thank you everybody here for hanging out. And we had a big showing up on Twitch. Thanks again to Eagle Garrett for the raid, and then all the new followers over there as well. So wherever you want to watch, that's just I stream wherever. So it's like. It's always kind of fun to see and be able to talk with so much of you guys as well. But it is almost 11 o'clock. I usually go to bed around 9. So I'm glad we were able to do the patch notes. And thank you guys for the 99 likes over on YouTube. We will be live tomorrow. We're going to be hanging out. And if you guys have any questions about the game, always feel free to ask. But also jump in the Discord. We'd love to have you there. Top link in the description of the videos, or you can use the link that I just dropped into chat. That will get you to all of the content that I make across the interwebs. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me, gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out, and to the 2.4% ladies out there in the community. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to try to go get some beauty sleep. And thank you, Sonia, for always being a part of that VOD squad. Really, it is always great to see the VOD squatters out there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you made it all the way to the end, you are truly a legend. Till next time.